There we go. All right. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Travis with Oscar Mike. We are the other half of We Are Resilient. We are war. Michael Geary is on assignment tonight, so it's just me, my better half. And make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, he is my better half. Is cooking up some good stuff for us tonight, so he has to research in real time. So you got me. You got me, and that's okay. And we're gonna do this thing. Hang on one second. Oh, let's see here. All goodness, all goodness. I hope your week's going all right. Jim from Trophy King in New Jersey checks in and says, hello, guys. Jim, how you doing? And that's the thing. We are nationwide. So first things first, why are we doing this on Thursday? It just worked out. Now, as much as I would love to do OMR every day of the week, which maybe that'll happen someday, it's just easier to stack things in one day than try to spread it out through the week at this point in time. And hello, Elsa. Elsa, thank you so much for checking in tonight. It was good seeing you on with Mistress Carrie from the Cocktails in the War Room family. Very nice. And oh, there we go. So, why are we doing Thursday night? It's just I can do this, then spool up for Oscar Mike Radio, do Oscar Mike Radio, then get ready for work, and I'm all set in one day. It makes it easier, and because I have to be here for OMR, it makes doing this a little easier and a little bit more streamlined. We're always about continual process improvement. Continual process improvement. So that's what we're about. And probably going to go for a half hour night because I don't have my sidekick, my man at arms with me. I am going to pop this link in the chat. If you want to come on for a couple minutes, you can. But we are, for the future, we are a Thursday night show at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're just trying to be adaptable and get things done. So thank you for your patience. Thanks for coming on tonight. And afterwards, we do have Oscar Mike Radio coming up at 8 p.m. And I'm talking to members of the Wolfpack Sim Racing Team. And the Wolfpack is all about, veterans who do sim racing together. I serve with a sim racer. I serve with Adam Simonic, who races the Oscar Mike Radio Sim NASCAR, which is really, really cool. And so he's going to be on there with Brad Otto tonight, and we're going to have a great time. And that's the way it's going to be. I'm going to capture, see if I can do a link, drop the link in here. Oh, I can share and look at that. I'm going to drop the link in this chat so everybody can see it. Great. We are live. We are resilient. We are war. So, um, I want to talk about something that is near and dear to me coming up is POW MI Day. Um, and I really appreciate people who take the time to remember those prisoners of war and missing in action. Very, very important thing to me that we don't ever forget those people who are lost to us, right? We just don't forget them. So when this day comes around, it's around September 11th. Let me pull up the link that I had. A little discombobulated tonight. Sorry about that. September 15th. That's what I thought. I'm gonna drop that link in the chat here. This is a hard holiday. It's hard enough as it is when you realize what it's about. It's about service members from multiple wars that haven't come home, haven't, been given closure to their families for their loss, none of that, right? And then it's on the 15th, and it's traditionally been on the 15th, but it comes right after September 11th, which, will go down in our history forever. So it's just two very emotional times in our nation that, we shouldn't forget, but you get hit with September 11th and people, still remember that, and it's still etched in our minds. And then they go right into POW MIA day. And the fact that, you have some families who still don't know what happened to their loved one, lost in battle. Those remains have not returned home or been located. And it's a lot of anxiety and stress, to say the least, and now things are done differently. If there is a battlefield loss, every attempt is made to let the family know what's going on. So, yeah, we got Labor Day coming up in a couple weeks. Yay. I know everybody can use a day off, but then we have some pretty solemn times. The first, the second week in December, not December, September, excuse me. And so, if you're on the chat, if you're watching right now, I kind of want to know, do you think that we as Americans give enough attention to POWMIA Day, or could we do more? Should we, maybe separate it out so we can honor those lost during September 11th, or is it a good idea to keep it together? I'd be interested to see, read, and hear some of your comments. Um, but it's a really a visceral event, especially when you have organizations like Rolling Thunder. Um, Massachusetts has Rolling Thunder Mass Chapter 1 and 2. I know a lot of people in both, and I hang out a whole lot with Mass Chapter 2. And the work that is being done to make sure that we never forget, and that those who were lost and not come home, that there's continual pressure to make sure we stay after that. And let's see here. See if we can get some stats here. I think the last time they ran the numbers, it was estimated of right at 86,000 people that you know were lost and haven't gone home. And that's just a staggering number. I mean, I can't imagine being a family member and having to deal with that. I just, uh, it's hard enough as it is. And I really hope that we work to take the time to honor those who, served our country and didn't come home. And then, I don't know about you all, but in my neck of the woods and other places, I know people are already getting ready for Veterans Day. Veterans Day is on a Saturday this year. Um, I think I know it is because I was talking to somebody about this. Yeah, Veterans Day is November 11th, and November 10th, of course, is the Marine Corps birthday. So it is going to be, with Veterans Day being on a Saturday and the Marine Corps birthday being on a Friday, you can best believe that there is going to be some uh, alcohol consumed in large quantities in certain parts of this nation. It's going to be a really good time. When I was in the Marine Corps, and Veterans Day and the Marine Corps birthday fell on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, it kind of threw things off a little bit because we go out, and I didn't drink, so you do the Marine Corps birthday and have to come in for Veterans Day, and you're supposed to have it off, but that motivated first sergeant still wants to do a 5 mile motor run Marines on Veterans Day. Hoorah! And which, okay, I get, but if you're gonna do the motor runs, let's do it on, like, the 9th or even the morning of the 10th. Don't do it on, you know, the 11th or the 12th after you've spent, You know, I mean, I saw some of my, Charlie Battery mates. I'm like, where are they putting all this? I mean, that dude's been drinking all night long. Where's it all going? And then get up the next morning because, the first sergeant wants to, show the lieutenant and the captain how, motivated the Marines are. Let's go for a run. And those poor guys were, I mean, first of all, you could smell them. It's Arizona, right? And this, the alcohol just leaches through their skin. It was great running behind one. And then, you'd be running and running and running and running and running. And sure enough, one of your battery mates would pull off to the side, hurl the entire contents of his stomach up, wipe his face off with a little sand, and get back in formation and keep running. It's hard enough as it is on a good day. Why would you want to make it any harder? So I'm just saying, I mean, the fact that it's on a weekend means that, you know, us Marines can celebrate November 9th because, I mean, do we really know for certain that November 10th was the day? It could have been the 9th, right? It could have been the 9th. Could have been the 11th. I mean, the Marines were created way before Remembrance Day was created for World War One, so it could have been the 11th. So, like good Marines, they start drinking on the 9th just to make sure they cover all the bases. You know, you're secured at 16:30. You start drinking, November 9th. You're good and ready for November 10th. You slide right into Veterans Day, and then you PT the next day. Yay! Uh, just me being me, I never quite saw the point. I never quite saw the point. I was not the drinker. I was the designated driver and, Marine hauler. That's what I did. But it was funny. It was funny watching my fellow Marines. You know, I can outdrink all you guys, and there's a sergeant. He's feeling his oats, or better yet, a staff NCO. Gunnies kind of knew what the deal was, and were kind of really, they drank just enough. There's always the staff sergeants and the sergeants who got slossed a little too much, and they're running, and they pull off to the side. Like I said, you hear this horrible, inhuman sound coming from God knows where, and then about a minute later, they're back in formation. I'm having a great time. This is awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic, man. So funny stuff coming up for Veterans Day with it being on a uh, Saturday and the Marine Corps birthday being on a Friday. But the thing is, people are starting to plan their Veterans Day events now. A lot of people in my part of the country are trying to get all their motorcycle rides in before it starts cooling off after September because by October, you might have one or two, but it's nothing like now. I mean, every weekend in New England, Saturday and Sunday, there is some kind of ride going on, and everybody is trying to get them in. Everybody's trying to get them done. I'll be honest with you, doing the rides is not my favorite thing. It's just a lot of reasons behind that. It's a lot of motorcycles in a tight, confined space. And if people have been having alcohol on board before they do the ride, I get a little nervous. I'm one of those, honestly, I'll show up, I'll pay the fee to ride, try to be towards the back. And when the ride pulls out, as soon as I can get to uh, a side street or exit, I'm done. It's nothing personal. I believe in supporting the cause if I believe in it, but it's essentially, especially if you're in the back, an hour and a half, 2 hours of speed up, slow down, second, third, fourth, downshift to two, fourth, third, second, then shift up again and shift back down. It can be a hassle. So it's not my thing. I think though that if you ride a motorcycle or you're interested in riding a motorcycle, if you want to hang out with some cool people, it's a really cool thing to show up at 9 o'clock and you know go to the vendors and get some food and get a t-shirt and then talk to people and meet people, who if you ride, they ride, everybody rides. It's a good thing. It's just not my thing, but it's a great way to raise money. It's a great way to network. It's a great way to, connect with people that are like you. So it's not bad. I just don't like doing the ride. And, I don't know what your skill level or experience is when you're riding next to me. And I don't want to find out, but that's just me. So up here, I mean, it's full on ride season. There was a Lego ride this weekend. There's a ride in Worcester this next weekend coming up. There's some rides into September. The Veterans Brotherhood Motorcycle Club is having their bike wash in Randolph. Just tons of stuff going on. Tons of stuff going on. So I'm going to be on for another 8, 9 minutes. Yeah, 9 minutes. Let me see here. All kinds of stuff going on. So I wanted to talk about real quick this aspect of merch. Mike and I got asked, when are you going to have shirts? When are you going to have this? When are you going to have that? Well, to do that stuff costs money, and we just don't want to do a Patreon. We don't want to do a fundraiser. We want to connect you with other veterans doing cool stuff. We might make a war hoodie or shirt, and if we get the money saved up, if we save our can money or whatever, and there's a quantity limit, we might put it out there to people who are checking in every week and see if they want one, and we'll go from there. Who's this? Eric Mello from Contagion Effect. Eric, this is awesome. Hey, folks, let me see, Eric, or if you want to, Eric, you want to do me a favor, man, pop the link to your podcast in the chat. I'm going to look it up right now and see if I can, we can both tag team this Contagion Effect podcast. Okay, yep, it's on Apple Podcasts. Well, I'm a Spotify guy, so I'm gonna get the Spotify link. Um, Eric, I put the Spotify link, and he's tonight 6 p.m. West Coast time, so that is 9 p.m. So you're on after Oscar Mike Radio Eastern time. Hey, folks, this is a fantastic show, man. I've gotten to check out their shows. They talk about veteran stuff too. I'm really happy to see them in their game, talking with some cool people. And you guys, Eric, you guys do a fantastic job. And I know we're talking like we're gonna, trade shows. You guys come on mine, I come on yours. Just ask let me get through Labor Day, and I'm gonna make that happen. Probably, I'm out till like November right now, so it'll be December after the first of the year. But in the meantime, you know, check out their show, subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on Apple Podcast. Well, I'll put the Apple Podcast link in there too while we're at it. And one of the things I tell people is, here, where's my cursor? Oh, there we go. So one thing I want to tell people when someone drops the show link in a chat like this, right, is you see these guys' link in the show chat. If you use Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we're indie guys. We don't have a marketing budget or a big marketing budget. The bigger shows do. So the best thing you can do to help people out is it's simple. Subscribe to the show, and if you're really motivated, listen to a show and give this person a 5-star rating if you like their show. It's just that simple. It costs you no money. Even if you just subscribe to the show and give it a like. Those numbers add up over time and really help people out. And I am just so excited to see someone like the Contagion Effect podcast, you know, getting their thing done. Uh, Mike and Eric are bringing awareness in their own way about veterans' mental health issues and issues. It's a big sandbox. Anybody can play in it. And so, hey, Eric, I'm glad you guys stopped by tonight. I dropped the links in your show. We'll definitely get together and make that happen. But you guys keep up the fantastic work you're doing. I love it. And anything I can do to support you, I'm there. And this is the other thing, if people supported stuff like this, like they do their sports team or their favorite TV show, if we got excited about, podcasts the way people get excited about like Game of Thrones or, some TV show that's based on fake characters that aren't real, what could happen if people started really plugging in? So to me, it's just important to support work like this, especially when you see, guys like Eric and Mike crushing it every week, bringing awareness up, getting some fantastic guests on their show to talk about, mental health and veterans issues. It's just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You guys are doing a great job and we'll connect. And thanks for dropping by. And that's the thing, it's one thing you can't really ask for support and can't be supportive unless you're truly supportive. So, down the road, I believe if you put yourself out there and support somebody else and help them reach their goal, maybe not right then, but down the road, you'll get it back. You'll get it back. So that's the Contagion um, Effect show. I got the Apple Podcast and the Spotify links in the chat there and hope to get these guys on Oscar Mike Radio, learn about their story, talk about what they do, and it's just really really cool that I'm on the East Coast, they're West Coast, and we're connecting in real time. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So I just I go full ham when stuff like this happens. So look, I am going to kind of shut this down because I don't have Mikey with me right now, and I got Jeremy Daniels checking in. But we're going to be back here from 7 to 8 p.m. going forward for We Are Resilient, We Are War. It'll be Thursday, you know, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then from 8 to 9-ish, 8:30-ish, 8:45-ish is my show, Oscar Mike Radio. And then follow it up if you want to. Make sure you subscribe to the Contagion Effect podcast, and you've got your whole evening all set. Or if you can't watch us, like that YouTube page, subscribe to our Facebook page, and just stay in the know. So I'm going to try to beautify myself in the next 30 minutes for the Oscar Mike Radio Show coming up. I just want to thank everybody for coming by tonight and saying hello while Mikey is on assignment. We're going to be back next week. Oh, last thing. This weekend in Pittsfield, uh, Oscar Mike Radio, I Am the Veteran podcast. We are resilient guest, and he's been everywhere recently because U.S. Army veteran Stephen Russell is going to debut the physical copy of Tales of Nihilism at the Plastic City Comic Con in Pittsfield, Massachusetts this weekend. So trying to make that a thing where we go out there and welcome in the moment. Steven's an amazing veteran story. He's been working hard. Let me see if I can find that link real quick for you. Tales of Nihilism, kind of like a different take on the Watchmen, is what I like to think. And he's just done a fantastic job. Let's see here. This is the Facebook link. Do me a favor, check out that. And if you would drop a like on his Facebook page and check him out on Global Comics. I'm going to post that link in there as well. And you will not be sorry. It is definitely worth the read. See here, Reddit. Oh, hey. Well, actually, let me do it like this. I'm going to drop the Oscar Mike Radio Show link in here, and you can go right to my website, check out the interview, and go from there. So, well, Jeremy, let's get some attention on that. We just got to get a time where you can talk with me. So again, I'm going to shut down now just to get ready for OMR in 30 minutes because I'm solo tonight. I want to thank you all for coming by. Lots of good stuff out there. Jeremy, we're going to get to you, man. I'm going to message you right after this show. And we are resilient. We are war. And thank you again.